The group phase of the 2026 FIBA U17 Women's World Cup comes to an end today, and in just about 2 hours or so, we will know the Group A winner. Both the United States and Latvia enter this matchup with a shot to claim the group. The U.S., the perennial powerhouse of this tournament, trying to stay unbeaten in group phase play. Meanwhile, Latvia looking to shock the world with a heavy dose of threes and claim the Group A title with what would be the biggest upset we've seen in years in this tournament. Let's dive in to the game day 3 schedule. We had a couple of matchups go final earlier, most notably Spain downing China to win Group B. That means Spain will play the 4th place team in Group A. And here is a look at the Group A standings. The U.S., the only team sitting at 2-0 after narrowly escaping Australia just a couple of days ago. Latvia tied with Australia for 2nd place. Here's the scenario. The United States wins this game. The U.S. wins Group A. Now, the U.S. has actually never lost a group phase game in this tournament. Meanwhile, Latvia, with a win and an Australia loss, will claim the group. With a win and an Australia win, it will come down to tiebreakers, so we would have to wait until both Group A games are finalized to determine those tiebreakers. Starting lineups getting announced here in Brno, Czechia. United States sitting at 2-0 on 4 points. If they win, again, would secure the Group A crown. This is a nation seeking its 7th gold medal. Only year the U.S. did not win gold was in 2016 when it claimed bronze after suffering its first ever loss in the tournament with the semifinal defeat against Australia. And it was just 2 days ago that Australia gave the U.S. its closest battle in group phase ever in this tournament. The U.S. narrowly beating Australia 74-72. It was a game that featured 8 ties, 5 lead changes. Australia had a chance to win the game at the tail end, but Ivana Wilson-Anyaka had a steal on the inbounds to prevent the Australians from getting up a shot. Meanwhile, Latvia entered today at 1-1, had a close battle against Australia, losing that game by 11, but it was only a 5-point game at halftime. Well, they're on the heels of a 25-point victory against Cote d'Ivoire, a game that they never trailed. Carlota Trebela was the leading scorer for them in that matchup with 26. We'll talk about her throughout this broadcast, but it's a Latvia side that can finish anywhere from 1st place to 3rd place in the Group A standings. Again, a win and an Australia loss means Latvia wins the group. A win and an Australia win would mean that we would have to go down to tiebreakers. We'd have to wait until both of the Group A matchups are concluded to determine that. Both games kick off at the same time. And tip-off is just a few minutes away, and we will listen in to the national anthem. The United States and Latvia getting set to wrap up group phase play in Group A.
We start with national anthem of USA.
Fans, put your prediction skills to the test with our game predictor. Guess the winner of this game and every game and predict the margin of victory to earn points, climb the leaderboard, and get a shot at winning an official FIBA U17 World Cup game ball and Nike gift cards. Anthems in the books as both coaches head back to their respective squads. The United States heading at 2-0, Latvia at 1-1. As you get a look at the Latvian side getting warmed up, trying to pull off a shocking upset over the United States. One notable U.S. piece of info, we saw Caroline Bradley during the national anthems not in uniform. She had a sling on her right arm. Bradley, one of the tallest players in this tournament, currently averaging roughly a double-double, 13 points, 9.5 rebounds per game through 2 matchups, so she is not available today. We look at our referees today: Josas Arkausis from Lithuania, Brooke Briscoe from Canada, and Sandra Sanchez from Spain. As far as Arena Vodova in Brno, Czechia, the site of this matchup, let's dive into the starting 5 for the United States. And the name to know there, Ivana Wilson-Manyaka, averaging about 18 points per game, had a double-double against Australia with 14 points and 11 rebounds. An MVP contender, considered the top prospect in this tournament, but it's not just her. Micah Ojo averaging 10 points a game, Long averaging 12 points per game. This U.S. team, what makes them so good is they have so much talent. They're just so balanced. 4 players averaging double figures for this U.S. team, and 7 averaging at least 8 points per game over the first 2 matchups. A major test for this Latvia side, but they have shown some firepower and some ability to hang with the big dogs in this tournament. They were competitive against Australia for most of that matchup, and one of the reasons why they are sitting at 1-1 is the play of Charlotte Skrebela. Had 26 points last game against Cote d'Ivoire, which is tied for the most points that anybody has had in this tournament so far. A high-volume three-point shooter, shooting 41% from beyond the arc. 22 of her 30 field goal attempts have been from three-point land. Steve Gomez leads the way for the U.S. This is his second head coaching assignment for the U.S. national team. He led the U.S. to the Under-16 AmeriCup gold medal last year. Currently the head coach of NCAA Division II Lubbock Christian University. He's led the powerhouse Lady Chaps to 3 national titles. He actually played at LCU back in the day, holds the school's free throw percentage record at about 86%. So he'll certainly want to see his U.S. squad knock down the freebies from the line. Ilse-Wessa Klebovitska leads this Latvian side, a former Latvian national team player from 1994 to 2007. Comes from a basketball family, both of her parents basketball players back in the day. And she's trying to mentor her Latvian squad to what would be the biggest upset in the history of the FIBA U17 World Cup. We appreciate all of you joining us today wherever you may be tuning in from, and we remind you to become a FIBA YouTube member, unlock exclusive content, get early access to highlights, acquire loyalty badges and emojis during our live streams, and get more exciting perks. Pick one of our rookie, starter, or MVP tiers and be part of our growing community today. Yes, let us know in the chat where you are tuning in from. The viewers from Normal, Illinois. And thank you all for making us a part of your Tuesday. And we are underway. The USA controls the opening tip. Final game of Group A. U.S. with a win would claim the group. Latvia with a win and an Australia loss would claim the group, as Morgan Reckley knocks down the triple. 3-0 lead for U.S. here in Brno, Czechia. The United States in the heels of a nail-biting win against Australia, as Latvia is able to respond. Oh, a nice spin by Wilson-Manyaka draws the foul. And 2 free throws on the way for Ivana Wilson-Manyaka. One more look as the Beautiful spin baseline. Draws the foul and will shoot two. And surprisingly, this is Eva Wilson-Manyaka's first free throw attempt of the tournament. Somebody averaging about 18 points per game. An MVP contender, regarded as the premier prospect entering this tournament. Had a double-double in that 74-72 win against Australia. Now she's good on both. That last foul against Mader Shakalova, her first and the team's first of the opening quarter. Here's Skrebala, leading scorer for this Latvian side. As she fires inside of the pick and roll, turned over and saved by Eve Long. Here comes the U.S. Jones shovels, Ojo inside, no. And the follow is there. Eve Long with the stick back. Another MVP contender, and it's turned over in the backcourt by Patricia Tiekmer. Well, if Latvia is going to have a chance in this one, they have to build some belief early, and I think getting off to a good start is crucial for this team. We saw them hang with Australia in that first half, only a 5-point deficit at halftime before things got a bit out of hand in the second half. Three ball off from Reckley, but the follow is there, and a second chance bucket once again as Eve Long cleans up the mess. And another steal leads to an easy two by Ivana Wilson-Manyaka. And a timeout taken. Latvia having all sorts of struggles with this U.S. press. Cookies and a side of milk as Ivana Wilson-Manyaka makes it 11-2 U.S. Make sure to follow at NextGenHoops on Instagram and X. Also use the hashtag FIBA U17 at NextGenHoops, the #1 spot for highlights, stand-up performances, and all-around top-notch content. Out of the timeout, it's a steal by Olivia Jones, who draws the foul. And she will shoot two. Latvia having a world of trouble breaking this U.S. pressure. That last foul against Enia Brokan, her first of the team's second, so two foul shots for Olivia Jones. Now 5 of 5 from the stripe in this tournament. Jones actually beginning her college basketball career this year. She's headed to Vanderbilt University, a 5-star recruit. And she is a bit young to be heading to college, but excited to see what she can do at Vanderbilt in Nashville, Tennessee. Latvia able to break the press. Follow is there and put in by Mader Shakalova. Here's Morgan Reckley getting the start today. Again, no Caroline Bradley for the United States. And there's an and one for the Americans. It's Wilson-Manyaka once again. Ivana Wilson-Manyaka, MVP contender. She was the MVP at last year's U16 AmeriCup, averaging 18 points per game there. She's averaging right around that here in Brno. And she is pure from the strike. That last foul against Snina. Third team foul against Latvia. First personal against Evelina Siersnia. Latvia having just a ton of trouble breaking this U.S. press. They're averaging 27 turnovers a game. On track to blow by that. Long swings. And a whistle comes in. Siersnia called for the personal. That is the team fourth of this opening quarter. The U.S. squad that is 52-1 all time in this competition. They have been the definition of dominant. Here's Reckley. Attacks. Morgan Reckley off the window. No. Offensive rebound again for the Americans as Olivia Jones lays it in. U.S. dominating the offensive boards early. Latvia able to break the press. They've turned it over more times than they've actually broken this press so far. Siersnia. Meant to shoot. Leaves it inside, and it's another Latvia turnover. 6 turnovers in the first 3 minutes for Latvia. Now the U.S. capitalizing on those opportunities. There's Reckley. Long. Meant to shoot. Long slips it inside. Jones the spin. Layup misses. Tip in no. And a foul underneath. This will send the Americans to the free throw line. U.S. in the bonus. So 2 free throws on the way for the United States, who are just dominant on the offensive glass right now. 5 offensive rebounds. We actually have not seen a single defensive rebound in this game as Wilson Menyaka knocks down the free throw. Pressing pressure from Long as the U.S. traps and nearly turned over again. Changes for the Americans. Ariana Robinson, second youngest player on this team, heads on for the United States. There's so much talent on this U.S. team, and there is also familiarity, right? You bring back 10 of the 12 players who were on last year's gold medal winning FIBA U17 AmeriCup squad. Well, for Latvia, just 6 players back from the 4th place finish in last year's U16 Eurobasket. So half the team is new. They're missing Cynthia Thundera, who was their leading scorer in last year's Eurobasket. And a whistle on the Scrabble 3 ball. So a chance for free throws for Latvia for the first time today. And it is Charlotte Scrabble to the stripe. Morgan Reckley called for the foul. That is her first team foul against the U.S. Scrabble 79% from the stripe in this tournament. She's currently the second leading scorer in the tournament entering today. And she's done so with a heavy dose of threes. And that's really been the game plan for this Latvian team in general. They lead the tournament in three-point percentage and three-pointers made per game. Reckley the rebound. And a whistle comes in. And it will be 2 more free throws for the United States. As Reckley marches to the charity stripe, 67% from the line. Scrabble called for the foul. The U.S. opened this tournament with a historic win against Cote d'Ivoire, winning it 117-24. That 93-point margin of victory, a tournament record, as was the steal number that they put up. 33 steals the United States in that game. That's the best looking press break we've seen today from Latvia. Nadionova dumps it off. Skrebala kicks. And that three well short. Nation Williams brings it in. Robinson slices, misses, and Tiekner the board. 4 minutes into this opening quarter, the U.S. a commanding start. It's been the harassing defense leading to major Latvian issues on the offensive end. Here's Skrebala. Maganovic lost it, and it's scooped up by Robinson. Runs with numbers. Jones has it ripped free. Great transition defense by Latvia. As it's heaved ahead, Skrebala corner short, and Robinson the board. Plays with the U.S. Changes for Steve Gomez's squad. Again, not as much depth today, especially in the interior, without the services of Caroline Bradley, who's been a key piece for the U.S. Tallest player on this roster, practically averaging a double-double, future LSU Tiger. Nation Williams, elbow jumper, misses. Another offensive rebound. Robinson, open, sinks it. That is 5 offensive rebounds for the United States. Nine second chance points for the U.S., 6 points total for Latvia. Nadionova, nice kick into the corner, 3-ball, misses. As it's heaved ahead. Griffin whips it inside, and a whistle comes in. Leah Hunter draws the foul. Good cut by Hunter, as she will march to the line. Senjeva called for that last foul. That is her first. So 2 free throws for Malia Hunter. One of just 2 players on this U.S. squad who did not play in last year's U16 AmeriCup. That's her first made free throw of this tournament. And she knocks down the second. Hunter out of California powerhouse Archbishop Mitty High School, a 4-star recruit. And a travel. And this press, even when you break it, it just speeds you up. As it's turned over by Searsnia. Here's Jasmine Bailey. Only U.S. player who has not scored in this tournament. Swings it. Hunter 3 off. Another offensive rebound. Bailey slices. Nice drive and dish. Corner 3 is off. How about a third try for the Americans? Bailey dumps it inside, and another foul as Nation Williams will shoot 2. Adele Priadita off the foul. That is her first. And 2 foul shots on the way for Nation Williams, looking to bounce back after struggling against Australia. At just 3 points, was 1 of 12 from the field. That followed a double-double against Cote d'Ivoire. 5-star recruit. Offers from every big-name school in the United States. And that's really the case for all of these American players. These the future stars of NCAA basketball in the U.S. Maganovic, 5 to shoot. Priadita lost it. Williams the steal. Griffin traveled. Well, it took a little while, but that is the first turnover of the game committed by the United States. Compare that to Latvia, who's committed 9 turnovers in this first quarter. Actually, we're going to change here and make that 10 as they, again, struggle with this press. Change for the U.S. as Naya Riak, the youngest player on this roster, will head on, but Robinson making her way over to the sideline. Hot to shoot here. Nation Williams puts up the 3. That is short. Rebound collected by Priadita. Feeds it ahead of the pack, and a whistle comes in. 2 free throws on the way for Ivanova. Ivanova, good job running the floor. Draws the hack from Naya Riak. And Latvia to the line. Irina Ivanova, 1 of 4 from the stripe in this tournament. She's one of 6 players, so half the roster did not play in last year's U16 Eurobasket. A run in U16 Eurobasket that saw this team finish in 4th place, allowing them to qualify. 3rd time that Latvia is in this event. Bailey finds the trailer. Jumper misses. Williams battled for it, and it is ripped away, but a foul call. And the U.S. just so scrappy on these loose balls. Yes, this team, supremely talented, most talented team in this tournament, but they also do the dirty work. They make you uncomfortable. They press relentlessly. They crash the offensive boards, and that is how you break this 2-3 zone. Easiest bucket we've seen from Latvia, and it's Ivanova again. Bailey, and an illegal screen set. Latvia stringing together basket and a stop. That's an offensive foul against Nation Williams. Team's 4th, so next one will put Latvia at the free throw line. Silkston up. Here's Scrabble up. Swings it. 3. Misses. The loose ball stays right here. Latvia loves to shoot the long ball, and that 3-point shot can be such an equalizer. They can hit at a consistent clip today. They could keep things competitive. We saw them knocking down a whole bunch of first-half threes against Australia. It was Scrabble in particular. She was 6 of 12 from three-point land against Australia. Finished with 26 points, which entering today was tied for the most out of any player in this tournament. Here is Scrabble, a rare 2-point attempt for her, as she gets inside and draws the whistle. Well, she commands so much respect from beyond the arc. You have to close out hard on Scrabble. And a good job attacking the closeout. The 2 foul shots on the way for Charlotte Scrabble. Scrabble, second leading scorer in this tournament entering today, plays for Latvian powerhouse Tete Riga, has made 8 Euro Cup appearances for them. That's a club that historically is the most decorated in all of Europe. Here's Tati Griffin. Bailey. Long, skips it. And first a whistle. Griffin was on the sideline, so consecutive stops by Latvia. Inside the final 2 minutes of a first quarter that's been controlled by the U.S., but Latvia starting to find its footing these last few possessions. Kiersnia Dish out. 8 to shoot. That ball swatted away. Skrevela, the floater, too strong. Griffin rips down the rebound. Good look inside for Long. That layup off, second chance. Hunter has it ripped away. And another stop by Latvia. Chilkstena with the steal. And here comes Latvia, 3-3. The attack, no. Skrevela, offensive rebound. Skrevela puts up a 3. Her shot rejected. And step through, goes. Down to a 13-point game. As Sierznia able to convert the second chance opportunity. A nice look by Griffin. The easy 2 by Eve Long. Tatiana Griffin, great court vision. She's averaging about 3 assists per game in Czechia. And it's a bit of a cold spell for the U.S. Skrevela finds a cutter. It's Sierznia who is fouled. 2 foul shots coming for Evelina Sierznia. Skrevela draws so much attention. Watch the eyeballs that she commands there. And Sierznia will head to the line. That last foul against Eve Long. Second personal against Long. So 2 foul shots for Evelina Sierznia, who has been the rising star in this competition for Latvia. You go back to last year's U16 Eurobasket, she only averaged 3 points a game. So far in the U17 World Cup, she's averaging 11 points per game. So a promising rise for Evelina Sierznia, who comes off and is replaced by Laura Pikusta. The U.S. can practically hold for the final shot. 1 second difference between shot clock and game clock. As Latvia drops back with that 2-3. The U.S. shooting 40% from the field so far. A lot of that has come on the inside with these second chance opportunities. 8 seconds now. Griffin floats it inside, layup goes. And that will do it for the opening quarter of basketball. A commanding first frame by the Americans as they lead it 29-14. Ivana Wilson-Meniaka, the exclamation point on a dominant first 10 minutes in Brno, Czechia. Quarter number 2 when we get back. Go to the second quarter in Czechia, the U.S. a dominant opening frame, and they're looking for more, and they have more. 31-14 lead for the U.S. They have feasted on these live ball turnovers as Micah Ojo finishes off that last opportunity. On the other end, Ojo getting involved defensively as she gets tangled up with Chokstead up. And possession arrow favors the U.S. Well, 2 days ago, the United States tested in a major way against Australia, and a team that is so prone to being dominant. I mean, you look back to this crop of players last year at the U17 America, their average margin of victory was 71 points per game. That is not a joke, 71 points per game. So maybe this team needed to be tested like that against Australia to really unlock their best basketball. As Williams has the follow, that's off, but the stick back is there. And the U.S. builds on its lead. Ivana Wilson-Maniaka, another second chance opportunity for the Americans. Dribble up. As it batted away by Wilson-Maniaka, and a steal. Reckley flips it up and in. Tough bucket by Morgan Reckley. And a whistle comes in. But Morgan Reckley, extra English on that finish. Here's one more look at it. Reckley, the blow by, she gets all the way underneath. And a lovely reverse lay-in by Morgan Reckley. Averaging about 9 points a game here in Czechia. Ivanova shovels inside and a swat by Williams. That ball was on the sideline, though. Base with the U.S. Just to go back to what this USA squad did at last year's U16 America. They went 6-0, again, winning those games by an average of 71 points per game. The closest game was a 26-point win over Canada in the final. And 2 of those games were won by 100 or more points. This crop of players, prior to that Australia game on Sunday, just hadn't been tested as a collective. And then they are tested against Australia, able to grind one out. That was pegged to be the marquee matchup of the group phase. It lived up to the hype. And I would not be shocked to see that as another matchup late in the bracket portion of this event. Move the title contenders for sure. As our officials try to sort something out of the scores table. Marina Ivanova was called for a foul. As Nation Williams patiently waits to trigger this in. And we are back to basketball. 21-point lead for the Americans as Reckley brings it across. Here's Jones. Whips it out. Wilson-Maniaka. 5 to shoot. Reckley attacks. Tough step back. Second chance for Williams. Williams, the drop step through the contact, no. Another try misses. 4th attempt for the U.S. doesn't get up as it's scraped away by Shakalova. Latvia in transition, and it's turned over as Brocone going to get there. The U.S. now with 11 offensive rebounds. Latvia as a team has 12 total rebounds. Wilson-Maniaka, the spin, the fader, the bucket. Ivana Wilson-Maniaka cooking in Brno. A's with Latvia, but what a start it has been for Ivana Wilson-Menjaka. 14 points, 5 of 6 from the field, a perfect 2 of 2 on 2-point attempts. Scrabble up, turns away. An easy 2, it's Wilson-Menjaka again. 16 points. He has a big block right there. And coast to coast to add to the American edge. Timeout taken by Latvia. We will join them 39-14. USA up big.
Are you kidding me? Papa Nicolau says, give it to me. Go attacks the closeout, feet Bruno inside. Fills it up.
Fans, put your prediction skills to the test with our Game Predictor. Guess the winner of every game of the FIBA U17 World Cup and the margin of victory. Who earn points on the leaderboard and get a shot at winning an official FIBA U17 World Cup game ball and Nike gift cards. 39-14 lead, USA over Latvia. In fact, Ivana Wilson-Menjaka is leading Latvia 16-4. 16-14, pardon me. Number 2 ranked recruit out of high school for the class of 2027. She could play at any school that she wants to in the United States. Nagunovic off on the jumper. USA a 10-0 run to start off this second quarter. Latvia still looking for its first points of the frame. Here's Rokan. Lagunovic gets tangled up. Possession arrow will send it down to the U.S. Look at the scoring for the Americans. Wilson-Menjaka with 16. Eve Long has 6. Micah Ojo with 5. So far, this is the first game that we've seen just one player really stand out because it's been so balanced. Yes. Well, Horn comes in. It's been so balanced for this team. 4 players averaging double figures. 7 players averaging 8 points or more. And an issue over at the scores table. Fans, become a FIBA YouTube member. Unlock exclusive content, get early access to highlights, acquire loyalty badges and emojis during our live streams, and get more exciting perks. Pick one of our rookie, starter, or MVP tiers and be a part of our growing community today. And so actually they will change the call. It is Latvia basketball. Here is Tikmer. 5 seconds to shoot for Latvia. 2 seconds now. Serznia gets it up and misses. Actually, they'll say she did not get it off in time. A shot clock violation. Latvia still without a point this second quarter. Get a good look at Olivia Jones, who will begin her college basketball career this coming season with Vanderbilt University. Highest ranked recruit to sign with Vanderbilt since Michaela Blakes did so a few years back. And what a player she turned out to be for the Commodores. What a feed. It's an easy two for Williams. Naya Riak dropping dimes. Here is Brokan. Maganovic scoots to the hoop. Off the mark. USA pushes nearing the midway point of this second quarter. Williams inside, no. Latvia tries to go the other way. It's batted away by Riak. Williams to the rack, and he draws a whistle. The long arms of Naya Riak batting that ball down. Williams collects the loose change, and she will march to the free throw line for two. Personal against Darina Ivanova, her second. Two free throws in the way for Nation Williams, the five-star recruit who began playing basketball at 5 years old, following the footsteps of her legendary mother. Women's Basketball Hall of Famer Natalie Williams, a two-time FIBA World Cup winner with the U.S. Had a tremendous college and pro career. And that free throw misses, but Riak is there on the follow. A 30-point lead for the United States. 15-0, the score in the second quarter. The U.S. hasn't shut out anybody in a quarter in this tournament, but they did hold Cote d'Ivoire to just 1 point in a quarter in the opener of this tournament. Nadionova, who had 12 points against Australia in the opener. 5 seconds to shoot. And a whistle against Reckley. That is her second. Reckley just reaching across there. Second team foul against the U.S. in this second quarter. As we near the midway point of the frame, it has been all USA. Here's an open three from Searsnia. That doesn't fall. And a rebound by Bailey, who chucks it ahead, and it is turned over. And of course, the U.S. entered this game as heavy favorites, but there was a thought, hey, Australia nearly beat them. Latvia hung with Australia. Could this Latvian squad make things competitive against the U.S.? And so far, the U.S. has put together as dominant of a first half as we've seen from anybody in this tournament so far. Nadionova down the lane. Nadionova is fouled. 2 free throws on the way for Elizaveta Nadionova. Ariana Robinson back for the personal. That is her first. 2 foul shots coming for Nadionova, who plays for Daugavpils in the Latvian Super Basketball League. She was one of the top scorers in the 2025 European Girls Basketball League U19. And she's good on both. First 2 points of this quarter for Latvia. A Latvian squad that could finish anywhere from first to third in this group, but right now it's looking a lot more like the latter is the likely finishing point, which would mean that they'd match up with the second place team in Group B. As Griffin draws the foul. Another offensive rebound for the U.S. Now 13 offensive boards as Tatiana Griffin off from the line. Griffin is the top-ranked recruit in the high school class of 2028. Last month announcing her decision to transfer to Mater Dei High School after helping to lead Ontario Christian to a California state title, and a lane violation will allow Griffin to attempt another free throw. And she misses all 3 attempts, but another O board for the U.S. Long draws the whistle. Good seal down low. Eve Long earns a trip to the line as Ivanova is called for her 3rd personal foul. Fans, follow at NextGenHoops on X and Instagram for top-notch content about stand-up performances, highlights, and so much more. Also use the official hashtag FIBA U17. And you can visit FIBA.basketball for all things FIBA. Long 1 of 2 from the stripe. U.S. winning this second quarter, 16-2. 3 ball from Teekmare is off. Here comes Tatiana Griffin, top player in her recruiting class, as she battles to the basket and lays it in. Griffin averaging 11 points per game in Brno. Nice feed, but the layup misses. Rebound by Long. Robinson accelerates. Off the window, no, and a stop for Latvia. First time that these two teams have ever played in this competition. You do wonder if that plays any role. These Latvian players have never faced a team of the United States caliber. Long will exit for the U.S. Latvia playing in just its 3rd ever FIBA U17 World Cup. Last qualifying in 2018, finishing in 8th place, which was their best finish in this event. As it's stolen away by Riak, as she glides for 2. Naya Riak, the youngest player on this roster. She turned 16 just last month. And Riak has the rebound as she heaves it ahead. Griffin is tied up in a held ball. Possession arrow keeps it with the United States. Steve Gomez instructing his squad. You see him standing along the sideline. His 2nd head coaching assignment with the U.S., leading them to the U16 AmeriCup Gold Medal with this crop of players. 10 of the 12 players from that team back this year as Robinson splashes the J. One of the few made field goals for the U.S. that did not come inside the painted area. As that free goes from Skrevela, the top 3-point shooter thus far in this competition. That's thrown away. 6th turnover committed by the U.S. as Robinson hands it out of bounds. During the final 2 minutes of what has been a dominant first half, as it's intercepted coast to coast. Robinson atones for her turnover for the steal and a deuce. Now 27 points off of turnovers for the United States. And there's the response from Nadionova. You're on the J. Griffin, nice look down low. Hunter lays it in. The U.S. just cannot be slowed down right now. Shooting over 50% from the field. The recipe's been simple. Get it inside, crash the offensive boards, get to the free throw line. Nadyonova to the basket, flips it in. Elizaveta Nadyonova turning things up for Latvia. 6 points for her. Final minute of this first half. As it's kicked into the corner, Skrevela, and a wedgie. Riak gonna get that ball loose. Riak has dunked in games in high school, so she is capable of going up there and grabbing it, but they will bring out the mop to ping it free. That results in a jump ball, possession arrow to Latvia. As it's thrown away, and another steal for Robinson. Ariana Robinson. Another easy 2 for her as we wind down to this first half. Chokstena gets rid of it. Layup misses. Tatiana Griffin in the move. Barrels to the basket, and Griffin muscles it off. Riak to follow. No. Riak again is fouled. Two free throws coming up for Naya Riak. Plays for La Follette High School in the United States, up in Wisconsin. 2 foul shots for her. That last foul against Kikusta. What a journey it's been for Naya Riak. Ahead of her first high school basketball game, she was so nervous that she actually cried. She proceeded to score 48 points in that game and has not looked back. So her nerves were quickly dispelled by her stellar abilities on the hardwood. And here she is now, the youngest player on this U.S. U17 team. Shot clock unplugged, 3-ball, Kikusta off, rebound by Riak. U.S. with time for one last chance. Bailey heaves it ahead. It will stay here with 0.8 left. We'll add a little more time. So 1.2 seconds, that is plenty of time for a catch and shoot. Bailey will trigger in. Inbound, Hunter, jumper no. And that'll do it for the first half of action in Brno, Czechia. And the United States well on its way to claiming Group A. Halfway home to doing so. A 57-23 lead at the break as the U.S. leads it by 34 points. The Americans led by Ivana Wilson and Yaka, who has 16 points in that first half. She's done so in just 7 minutes and 15 seconds of game time. And you see the numbers there, a whole lot of 2-point field goals coming inside the painted area, also dominating the offensive glass and forcing these live ball turnovers, which has allowed the U.S. to feast in transition to the tune of 29 points off of turnovers, 18 on fast breaks. One half of the books, 57-23 the score. Halftime at Brno, Czechia. We'll be back with you in a little bit. The U.S. up big over Latvia.
Nicolau says, give it to me. Go attacks to close out. Beat Bruno inside.
Fills it up. It's all right.
What do you think?
Oh my goodness, get out of here.
Attack corner blocking and Bruno.
And then you've got this woman here, Asia.
And what a finish.
Didn't overplay as well. Too many players without playing one-on command.
Because she's excited with passion.
4 rebounds, 6 assists.
Roberts, you gotta love it.
Buckets at the buzzer.
And these fans here in Kobe, they love it. They absolutely love seeing
Nicolau says, give it to me. Chicago attacks to close out. Deep Bruno inside.
Fills it up. It's all right.
What do you think?
Oh my goodness, get out of here.
Attack corner pocket. And Bruno.
And then you've got this woman here, Asia.
And what a finish.
Didn't overplay it as well. Two players without playing one-on-one.
Because she's excited with passion.
6 rebounds, 6 assists.
Roberts, you gotta love it.
Buckets at the buzzer.
And these fans here at Kobe, they love it. They absolutely love seeing
Caitlin Clark gets to the passing lane, goes coast to coast for the and one opportunity.
You ain't never seen nothing like this. You ain't never seen nothing like this.
Just about set for the second half of basketball in Brno, Czechia, the United States. A commanding 57-23 lead. And they're doing this without the services of their post player, Caroline Bradley. You just saw her in that sling on her right arm. Unavailable in today's game, the five-star recruit who is committed to LSU, Louisiana State University, for her college basketball. But other players have stepped up in her absence through the first half of action. Ivana Wilson, Maniaka's big tournament continues. 16 points for her. She's played just 7 minutes and 15 seconds of basketball in this one. Ariana Robinson, second of the team with 8 points. And Eve Long is third with 7 points. A couple of the big metrics. The U.S. was plus 28 in terms of paint points, plus 11 in terms of offensive rebounds. Meanwhile, the two numbers for Latvia that I think are most concerning, given if they did these two things well, they could have made this somewhat competitive. Number one, the three-point shooting. They're just 1 of 12 from beyond the arc for a team that entered this game as the top three-point shooting team in terms of percentage and makes per game in this tournament. And number two, the turnovers. 19 turnovers committed by Latvia. And if they were going to have any shot to keep this thing close, they'd have to protect the basketball and knock down threes. Neither of those things happened in the first half. Final half of basketball in group phase. They winding down, the U.S. well on the way to a Group A title. A nation that has never lost in the group phase of this tournament. A score update from Australia, Cote d'Ivoire. Australia late in the third quarter leads Cote d'Ivoire 63-22. And that shot misses. We'll stay here with the U.S. So if these results stand, which both lopsided games, so we do expect that to be the case, USA would win the group, Australia in second place, Latvia in third, Cote d'Ivoire in fourth. 8 seconds on the timer as Jones slices and turns, and Olivia Jones will shoot two. Early free throws in this third quarter for Olivia Jones. And by the way, with the U.S. winning this group, the U.S. would play the fourth place team of Group B, which is Mexico, having lost to Germany earlier today. And that free throw misses. We'll stay with the U.S. in the second chance opportunity. 11 seconds on the shot clock. Oh, a nice hop step and the finish for Olivia Jones. So Jones only 1 of 2 from the stripe in that last trip, but she does lay it in. Here's Nadyonova. Into the corner, Skrebela 3 misses. That's been the story for Latvia. They have been struggling from beyond the arc today. Just 1 of 13 on three-pointers. A little bump, and Eve Long still finishes through the contact. And another steal as it's whipped inside. Reckley is fouled, and Morgan Reckley will shoot a pair. Two free throws on the way, and it's once again a live ball turnover, leading to an easy opportunity for the Americans to add to this edge. And 2 free throws on the way for Morgan Reckley. Now 2 of 3 from the stripe. Reckley, somebody with over 20 college offers, including an offer from powerhouse South Carolina. So potentially a future Gamecock under the great Dawn Staley. That's the story for really this entire team. These players have their pick of where they want to play college basketball. One of them has already began their college career. Well, as of this fall, will do so. Olivia Jones, who has the rebound here. She's off to Vanderbilt University. Here's a 3 ball that misses. If there's been one blemish today for the U.S., it has been the three-point shooting, just 1 of 7 from beyond the arc, and that echoes what they've done for the tournament so far. Entered today just 20% from three-point land, but if they can be as dominant as they've been inside throughout this tournament, that really shouldn't matter all too much. And a steal by Reckley, who races ahead. Reckley finds a trailing Jones. Short from 3. Nadyonova checks ahead. And an easy layup for Skrebela. Nine points for Skrebela, with just 3 of those points coming from three-point land, which is atypical of what we've seen from her in this tournament, as Griffin rims off in the triple. U.S. settling for some threes. Still just 1 May triple for Steve Gomez's squad today. Nadyonova. 6 points for her. Here's Skrebela, who leads Latvia with 9. 5 to shoot. Nice feed down low. And Chakalova puts it home. Well, if you're Latvia at this point, you're just looking for some positives to take from this matchup. They get back-to-back buckets to go here. Long. He is hacked. Deep Long, another one of the U.S. players who knows where they're headed to play college basketball. She'll be playing at Notre Dame in South Bend, Indiana. Griffin flips it up and is fouled. 2 free throws coming for Tatiana Griffin. And she draws the whistle. Foul against Adele Priadita. The 2 free throws for Tatiana Griffin, top-ranked recruit in the class of 2028. She was inspired to play basketball after watching her dad play with his friends at the park. She began playing just recreational basketball, but was deemed to be too good for the league. So instead, she played boys AAU basketball until she was 12 years old. And now here she is, top-ranked recruit in the class of 2028, a key piece of this U.S. U17 squad. Reckley, the offensive rebound. Reckley, tough lay and goes. Her finishing around the rim has been superb today. Morgan Reckley getting it done. 7 points for the USA point guard. Nadionova stops. Rebounded by Nation Williams. Reckley spreads it ahead. And another 2. This time it's Griffin. Four points for Tatiana Griffin. Good press break from Latvia as Tikmer puts it in. Tikmer, somebody who has struggled from the field this tournament, entering today just 2 of 13. But she's able to bank home that runner as Jones draws the contact. Jones a chance to make this a 40-point lead for the United States. A game that the U.S. has not trailed in. Couple of changes for Latvia, led by Ils Weset Lebovitska, former Latvian national team player. You see her crouched over, we just saw her a moment ago, crouched over chatting with her players. She was actually the first women head coach of a Latvian Basketball League men's club. Did so back in 2016. Now leading the U17 Latvian squad as Jones exits after the made free throw. Largest lead of the game for the U.S. En route to a Group A crown. But they're looking for more. They want gold once again. It would be a 7th gold medal for the Americans in this FIBA U17 World Cup. Only time that they did not win gold was the only time they've ever lost in this tournament. A semifinal game back in 2016 against Australia. Lost to the Opals and ended up winning the bronze medal game. Outside of that, the U.S. has won the other 52 games it's played in this competition. Williams, the offensive rebound. Here's an open 3, and that misses. And a loose ball foul as Robinson battling underneath. And it's actually a foul against the U.S. First team foul against the United States in this third quarter. It's Nation Williams who picks up her second personal. And there's team foul number 2 against the U.S. Changes for the United States. Riak heads on. Reckley and Ojo off. We haven't seen much of Ivana Wilson-Mendiaka as of late. Still leads this team with 16 points despite playing just over 7 minutes as Bailey speeds ahead. And a whistle comes in. Saw the pace from Jasmine Bailey, and there's good reason for that. She has elite speed. Look at this speed as she blows by the Latvian defense, ends up drawing the foul against Lukstena. But Jasmine Bailey is the 400-meter dash national junior Olympic champion. And there is her first point of this tournament. Oldest player on this roster, a top 50 recruit coming out of high school. And Bailey pure on both. So with that, all 12 Americans have now scored in this tournament. And all 11 players available today for the U.S. have now scored in this game. Here's an open three that falls for Lada Kikusta. It's the second made three of the game for Latvia. Skrebolas hit one. Now Kikusta gets into the three-point action. Williams hooks it in. Nation Williams, 6 points. As she tries to bounce back from the 1 of 12 outing against Australia. In a game that perhaps was a wake-up call for this USA squad. Sometimes teams need to go through battles like that to really bring out their best selves. Especially after coming off of a 93-point win against Cote d'Ivoire, which was the largest margin of victory in tournament history. The U.S. then proceeds to beat Australia by just 2 points. But it has been all USA today. Both free throws good for Evelina Sierznia. Fans, become a FIBA YouTube member, unlock exclusive content, get early access to highlights, acquire loyalty badges and emojis during live streams, and get more exciting perks. Pick one of our rookie, starter, or MVP tiers and be a part of our growing community today. We appreciate all of you joining us on the FIBA YouTube channel. John Gross with you as we navigate this third quarter of action in Brno, Czechia. A game that has been dominated by the United States. Head coach Steve Gomez and company about 13 minutes of game time away from winning Group A and moving one step closer to a 7th gold medal. And that's the entry feed knocked away. And whistle comes in, held ball. Missionero to Latvia. But let us know where you're tuning in from. Use the live chat. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Also, make sure to like this live stream. We appreciate all of your support, and we appreciate you making us part of your day. Here's Skrebola, puts up a three and splashes it home. Charlotte Skrebola, sharpshooter for Latvia. He has 12 points. Leading scorer for Latvia is Robinson. Muscles to the basket for 2. And a whistle underneath. Down Latvian player. Let's take one more look at it. Skrebola loading it inside to the rolling Priadita. And he gets knocked down by Jasmine Bailey. Gomez getting his last second instructions in there. 2 foul shots on the way for Adele Priadita. searching for her first point of this tournament. Priadita averaged 2 points per game at last year's under-16 Eurobasket. And he'll search for that first point on this second attempt. Misses both. Riak has the rebound. Final 2 minutes of this third. Here's Bailey. Pulls up. Rims out. Buxton will slow things down for Latvia. Here's Skrevela. Leading scorer for Latvia, 12 points for her. Marked by Robinson, tries to cook her way inside. Rupita denied. Leave long the rejection. It was deflected, so Latvia retains possession. And Long, with a fitting last name, Long Arms, able to turn away that shot, and we have a timeout taken. Final 143 of quarter number 3, 76-37, USA up big. Fans, put your prediction skills to the test with our game predictor. Guess the winner of every game of the FIBA U17 World Cup and predict the margin of victory to earn points, climb the leaderboard, and get a shot at winning an official FIBA U17 World Cup game ball and Nike gift cards. 1 second to shoot. Skrevela nearly hit it. And a great box out by Bailey as that ball trickles out. Final 90 seconds of this third quarter. USA en route to a Group A victory. They will face Mexico, the southern neighbors, in the first game of the bracket, as Long draws the foul. Still 4 more games left to play here as the final day of the group phase is here. Look at the other group of leaders. Spain won Group B, going a perfect 3-0 with their win against China. Japan is 2-0 in Group C. Canada 2-0 in Group D as Robinson gets inside. No. Long to follow. Yes. And, of course, Australia, well, they will not win this group. Still a force to be reckoned with. The U.S. saw that firsthand on Sunday, winning that game by just 2 points. So a real shot to see a rematch of that battle, and an illegal screen is set. A score update from that Australia-Cote d'Ivoire game. Australia leads Cote d'Ivoire 81-33 with 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Changes for Latvia. And on the topic of that potential USA-Australia tournament rematch, the only chance those two teams would have to play each other would be in the final. They would be seated in opposite parts of the bracket, USA winning Group A, Australia being in second of Group A. Australia will play Germany in the first game of the bracket portion. As that 3 falls, it's just the second May triple by the United States. And it's Naya Riak who hits her first 3 of the tournament. Whistle comes in, free throws on the way. Latvia in the bonus. Lara Kikusta with the charity stripe. Three points for Kikusta, misses on the first. One of 6 players that did not play in last year's under-16 Eurobasket. That's half the roster. And she's off on both. 12-second difference, shot clock to game clock. Long underneath. Draws another foul. We've seen a heavy dose of USA bench players getting minutes in this third. Long is a starter, though, for this team. And certainly an MVP contender for the tournament. Last year, a U16 AmeriCup All-Star 5. This year, averaging 12 points a game. She has 13 points, 5 rebounds in this matchup. She's done that in just 14 minutes of game time. We still have not seen Ivana Wilson-Menyaka in this second half. Despite that, she still leads all scorers with 16 points in just 7 minutes and 15 seconds of game time. As that feed is intercepted, Robinson to the basket, lays it in. Tough finish by Ariana Robinson. What a job she's done getting in passing lanes. 7 steals for Robinson. 2 seconds. Latvia doesn't realize it. Nanionova misses from distance. And we are 3/4 of the way through. And the United States got off to a red hot start and has start of the fourth quarter, 86-37. The U.S. leads Latvia. Don Gross with you as we get set for this fourth quarter in Brno, Czechia. Stara Zarina Vodova, the site of this matchup. As Morgan Reckley pulls up and drills it. 9 points for Morgan Reckley. 3 of 7 shooting for her. It's been a strong tournament for Reckley so far, averaging 9 points per game. Largest lead of the game for the U.S., up by 51. And there's Reckley getting it done defensively as she jars it away. Could not handle the speed, but it does stay here with the U.S. The Americans, so much depth. Everybody has contributed today for the United States. A complete team effort. 3 players in double figures. Wilson Manyaka with 16, Long with 14, 12 for Robinson. But everybody scored. Everyone's made an impact. As Micah Ojo draws the foul. 2 free throws coming for Ojo, another 5-star prospect for the United States. One of the top prospects at this tournament. Comes from a basketball family. Brother and sister both play college basketball as she misses on the second. Shakalova. Here's Tikmer. Fires inside. Shakalova goes to work. There's a whistle. 2 foul shots coming for Nadia Shakalova. Foul against Tatiana Griffin. So 2 free throws for Shakalova. This Latvian team has had a tough go at it today, but it is a country with some basketball history to it. You look at in the domestic league, TTT Riga is historically Europe's most decorated club. 18 European titles. Actually, last year there was a very popular movie in Latvia that came out about the early years of the club. Second free throw for Shakalova. Rims out. And Griffin has the rebound. 7 boards for Griffin. 7 rebounds and 6 assists. Only has 4 points, but she has impacted the game in many other ways besides just scoring. Williams traverses the lane. There's Skrebela. Looking for breathing room. Skrebela hoists and is fouled. Free throws on the way for the sharp-shooting Charlotte Skrebela. Just enough to create separation. And then a closeout from Williams. Skrebela draws the foul. Skrebela rims in on the first. Well, talking about TTT Riga, you can't talk about that club without Uliana Semyonova, who is regarded as one of the greatest players in the history of the sport, the greatest player in Latvian history. FIBA Hall of Famer, first non-American woman to be enshrined in the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. She stood at 7 feet tall, 2 meters 13. Won 15 European titles with TTT Riga as Griffin gets inside. And was a stalwart for the Soviet Union national team, winning 3 world championships. Actually, she never lost a game playing for the USSR. Uliana Semyonova, winningest player in the history of this sport for Latvia. Griffin, another rebound. Griffin on triple-double watch. 6 points, 8 boards, 6 helpers. Pull up from Reckley, misses. Will stay here. Of course, the United States, the global superpower. 11-time FIBA Senior World Cup champions. They've won 6 gold medals at the FIBA Under-17 World Cup. And when the officials take a look at this, looks like they will. I do want to offer up a trivia question here. Those in the chat, let us know if you have an answer. Who has the most medals in FIBA World Cup history? That is the Senior World Cup. FIBA World Cup history. Which specific player has amassed the most medals in FIBA World Cup history? Let us know in the chat if you have a guess or know the answer. This is what the officials are looking at. A live view of what our officials are checking. On the floor is that it's United States basketball. There, it hits the fingertips of Hunter, but it does appear to also graze the hand of Kalova. And it will, in fact, stay with the U.S. I see a guess, Kevin Durant. I should clarify. Most medals in the FIBA Women's World Cup. But not Kevin Durant. But it is an American. Jones, kick out, Reckley 3, makes it rain. Double figures for Morgan Reckley, she has 12. One of 4 Americans in double figures. This team just so balanced. 4 players averaging double figures in the tournament. 4 players in double figures in this game. And it is tough to see any other team who can beat this U.S. squad. Australia gave it a go, only lost by 2. And that's a potential championship matchup. U.S. and Australia will be on opposite sides of the bracket. Jones well for the travel. Spain had a really good run, 3-0 so far. They won U16 Eurobasket last year. Canada, strong squad. And Japan currently undefeated in group play, but it's tough to see anybody else who can hang with the U.S. besides Australia. But we'll see. Australia did hand the U.S. its only loss ever in the FIBA U17 World Cup back in 2016. That was in the semifinals as a foul committed by Reckley. Third personal against Morgan Reckley. Reckley with a tournament best 12 points. There was a great article by USA Basketball about Morgan Reckley and the impact that her family has had on her career. Talked about how she gets the same applause and kudos from her family members for scoring 1,000 points in 2 years of high school basketball as she does for maintaining the 4.0 GPA that she has in high school. Really comes from a wonderful family and has parlayed that into a ton of success on the hardwood and in the classroom. 2 free throws here for Latvia. Monta Chukstina is one of 2. Good ball movement, corner 3, misses, and it's batted out of bounds, stays here with the U.S. And yes, we are seeing the answers in the chat. Sue Bird is the correct answer. Sue Bird, 4 gold medals, 1 bronze medal. Also saw a Diana Taurasi guess. She was a different UConn player. Sue Bird, the most medals in FIBA World Cup history with 5. Here's Brokan. Searsnia. Attacks the lane. Searsnia turned away. It is Jones who pushes, then coughs things up. Numbers for Latvia, but doesn't matter. U.S. is well to retreat, and here comes Reckley. Long misses in the jumper. Riak has it ripped loose from her. And it's an easy two for Madir Trkalova. So the U.S. will take on Mexico in the round of 16. That three falls for Riak. And how about Riak stepping back and knocking down a couple of tray balls? Youngest player on this team, just turned 16 last month. Steal by Malia Hunter, and she lays it in. And the U.S. on the precipice of the century mark for the second time this tournament. Defense into offense. It's been the name of the game for the mighty United States of America. And a timeout taken by Latvia. Become a FIBA YouTube member, unlock exclusive content, get early access to highlights, acquire loyalty badges and emojis during our live streams, and get more exciting perks. One of our rookie, starter, or MVP tiers, and be a part of our growing community today. Timeout taken by Ilzwesa Flebovitska, longtime Latvian national team player, and now the coach of the under-17 team. Latvia back in this competition for the first time since 2018. Qualified by finishing 4th in Eurobasket. You do wonder how this Latvia team would look if it had the services of its leading scorer from that competition. Cindia Sondore, who is not on the 12-player roster here in Brno. Runner off, Diekmeyer had it, then lost it. U.S. looking to crack the century mark for the second time this tournament, and they'll do so. Nation Williams gives the U.S. 101. Second time this tournament, the United States has reached 100 points as a whistle blows. And a foul committed by Ariana Robinson. Pretty good ball movement by Latvia. Quick passing to break down this 1-3-1 from the United States. Free throw good by Diekmeyer. Diekmeyer will exit as Ivanova replaces her. Latvia will take on China tomorrow in the round of 16. China squad that went 2-1 in group play, falling earlier today to Spain. That was a battle that the winner of that game would win the group. And Spain made no mistake about it. A dominant performance by the reigning U16 European champions. And the other game in Group A is in the books. 89-37 the final. Australia takes down Cote d'Ivoire. So the standings for the groups just about set. It'll be finalized in the next 3:32. And one bucket by Naya Riak adds to the edge. Riak, such a tremendous athlete. She has dunked in games for her high school, La Follette High School up in Wisconsin in the United States. She does miss in the free throw. Well, points today for Riak. 5 Americans in double figures, still being led by Ivana Wilson-Menyaka, who has not played in the second half. Wilson-Menyaka has played just 7 minutes and 15 seconds, but she's still the leading scorer in the game. Bailey kicks. 3 Riak. She's hit a couple, but did not connect on that one, as it's tossed away. Williams off of the floater, and a held ball. Possession arrow to Latvia. Strong bounce back outing for the U.S. after claiming that nail-biting win against Australia. Won that game by just 2 points against a strong Australian side. Good ball movement leads to a corner 3 that misses. That was the closest group phase game the U.S. has ever played in the FIBA U17 World Cup. They've never lost in this phase of the tournament. Robinson can't convert. And a foul 90 feet away from the basket. Latvia the bonus, so free throws in the way is called for the personal. First foul against Hunter, who plays her high school basketball at Archbishop Mitty High School in California. Her head coach there, Sue Phillips, the former U.S. U17 head coach who led the Americans to the gold medal in 2014 and 2022 at the FIBA U17 World Cup. Fans, make sure to follow at NextGenHoops on X and Instagram for all the content you're looking for about the FIBA U17 World Cup. Player highlights, standout performances, and so much more at NextGenHoops. The chance bucket is there for Kikusta. Griffin pull up. That's short. And a loose ball foul goes against Eve Long. So 2 more free throws coming for Latvia. We'll look back, and Long wiping that left arm as she brings down Nadionova. Elizaveta Nadionova to the free throw line for 2. 6 points for Nadionova, third leading scorer on the team today. Make that 7. Now tied with Shakalova for the second most points for Latvia. Bailey in some trouble. Finds Long. Final 90 seconds in Group A. Another Group A matchup in the book, so this game will end it. 1 more game still left to play today. As Long misses. Hunter turned away. Good block. We'll see Japan versus the host Czechia Later today, Slovenia, Colombia, Egypt, Italy, and Canada, New Zealand to round out group play. And then tomorrow, the bracket portion commences with the round of 16 as Robinson draws the foul and he'll shoot a pair. Free throws for Ariana Robinson. 5-star recruit in the class of 2028. She received her first college offer as an 8th grader. Averaged 10 points per game at last year's U16 AmeriCup. Double figures again today for Robinson. Good on the second. And as we wind down to this one, again, a big thanks to all of you for joining us today. United States seconds away from a dominant win against Latvia. The spin from Shakalova kicks into the corner, and the corner triple is canned. Lara Kikusta with the three. As you look ahead for Latvia, they'll take on China. And that three-point shooting will be key. Team that shot the lights out in the first two games struggles today, though. And Griffin won't even attempt a shot. So a shot clock violation. Latvia with one final opportunity to get something on the board. First ever meeting between the United States and Latvia. And the USA claims Group A. Their pursuit of a 7th gold medal will continue tomorrow as the Group A winners begin the round of 16 against their southern neighbors in Mexico. 105-53 the final score in this game. Latvia will face China tomorrow in the round of 16. A dominant performance by the United States. You look at some of the numbers, just how efficient they were on the inside. The free throw numbers, that leaves something to be desired. Just 62% from the stripe, and I'm sure Steve Gomez will address that with his team. By the way, he was quite the free throw shooter back in his day. Holds the Lubbock Christian University career free throw record at 86%. Leading scorers for the U.S., 5 players in double figures, led by Ivana Wilson-Menyaka, who only played 7 minutes and 15 seconds and did not play in the second half of the game. But a balanced effort, a dominant effort by the U.S. No Caroline Bradley, but the Americans still roll against Latvia. Group A in the books, and it's the USA atop the group as expected. A huge thanks to all of you for joining us, for our entire fantastic production team. My name is John Gross, saying so long. Brno, Czechia, the site of this matchup, and the United States leaves with a big win. 3-0 in group play, and the pursuit of a 7th gold medal continues tomorrow against Mexico. 105-53 the final as the U.S. downs Latvia. Thanks again, everybody.